I think all of us in the cattle industry in the last number of years have realized that profitability certainly beats where we were. And so with a bit of vision, which is exactly what we need in our industry as leaders, vision extremely important to make sure that we understand where we are, where we're positioned, what our opportunities are, where we can be competitive. When we talk about the checkoff going from 1 to 250, a lot of people will be a little concerned about that. Currently, beef producers across Canada are paying $1 mandatory checkoff. But that $1 was set back in 1994, implemented in 1999. And if we take the inflation into consideration, it's about 73 cents today. So what we have to do is we have to maintain our competitiveness. And the only way to do that is through research. And then, of course, when we have the product, we have to promote and market in a very, very strong way.
You know, if we don't have researchers working on things, when you have an issue or feed grain prices skyrocket, you need alternative feeding strategies. Those don't happen overnight. You need 10 years of existing research and also expertise available. We as an industry have a role and responsibility to work with government to ensure that infrastructure and capacity exists. So some of our investments are focused on exactly that. Some are more on the program side, dealing with specific issues, whether it's animal health or increasing forage productivity. This increase that we're looking for Checkoff for research isn't just about enhancing our program and adding new things. It's about maintaining what we have. And I think as an industry, when we look at what we are funding for research, you know, reducing programming at this point isn't an option. I always go back to the fact that my family's in beef production, and if I'm going to go to producers, I want to be able to be comfortable to tell my dad that we're going to increase the national checkoff. That's my sniff test, I call it. And I think it's really important that we as an industry invest, but that we're also accountable to the people who are ultimately funding the programming that we're working on.
Today, people are basing more and more buying decisions on how we raise our animals. They want to know more information about, you know, what do we use to raise cattle? How do we care for our animals? If you're not there when information's happening, we create a vacuum. And more often than not, misinformation fills that vacuum. Increasingly in an information society, it's important that you are there, you are speaking on behalf of the industry that we represent. Yes, we're doing some of these things, but we feel we need to do more. And we need to, you know, have that elevated level of preparation. As we work hard, we'd like to maintain this new price range that we're selling our cattle. We need that if we're going to maintain the standard of living that is necessary to attract the future generations into our industry. And, you know, ideally, I'd like people to take a look at the cattle industry and say, you know, they're doing the best job of all of talking about what we do, being open and transparent about our industry, and again, against the total value of what we're selling cattle for. We think it's a really good investment.
When you look at the value of a fed animal or a calf, this is about 0.5% in terms of what the investment is into research, marketing, and policy when we consider both the provincial and national checkoff. When we consider just the investments in national checkoff, it works to be about 0.25% of a value of an animal at this point in time. So, you know, I think we still have to be respectful of the fact that cattle producers are paying this, but at the same time, we as an industry have to look at ourselves and say, are we willing to invest in ourselves? Because if we expect government and even our consumers and trading partners to have confidence in us and also put money behind us, we have to do so ourselves.
But then we also got to tell a story around it and connect with the consumer. And we can't just talk science and research to them. They want to have a conversation. And so there's a very fine balance. And when it comes to PR, communications, interaction with social media, there's conversations today, tomorrow that are going around with or without us there. And we need to be there. The moment is right now to take advantage of consumers' loyalty, because we have very high prices, we have limited demand, and people are stepping up. They're buying our product, but they also want to have a relationship with us. And there's a very fine line between loyalty and I'm going to go talk to somebody else. You know, out of the $2.50, we're roughly looking at about $1.45. So, you know, you can call that 55 to 58% of the invested national checkoff that would be an additional contribution. We're looking to do a lot more of the great things that we're doing.
The importance of having a very solid, firm vision for our industry can't be overstated, and that is the reason why we originally began the discussion around a strategic plan.
This investment's about being stronger. It's about being proactive. It's about getting out there, standing up for what you believe in, and being a force, being a powerhouse. And that's going to take additional investment, and we think we will be able to make a difference, and we will reward producers for the investment they make in Canada beef.